everybody, and welcome back. Another Monday is upon us. This one actually winding down. The 14th day of July has been a little more on a wet and cooler note, and, well, we'll certainly have that working its way into your forecast. Definitely the cooler part. Really, the forecast is almost exactly as it was Friday. How often do you hear that? But the cold air we were predicting last week is pretty much to the degree, give or take one or two possibly, in the forecast tonight. Not a whole lot of changes. We'll talk about this unseasonably cool air that may set a few records. That's going to last throughout most of the week in just a few moments. A lot of other news to cover as well this evening. That will include, tragically, another fatal auto accident on the Mountain Parkway. This on the heels of one that claimed the life of a young W.R. Castle fireman, a son and a husband and a father-to-be just a few weeks ago. And there's some more sad and tragic irony related to this report as well. And that was just the first of what would be several auto accidents on rain-slickened roads on the Mountain Parkway earlier today. Now, we'll have that for you. I'll have all the details that we can gather in just a few moments. That is still rendering at this time. We'll cover some other news and headlines before we get there, and I'm hoping to have some other video coming into the newsroom perhaps any moment. We have that. We also have some news coming from Johnson County and the Sheriff's Department there about some individuals that helped avoid a theft, still left some damages behind at a church in that area, and some Johnson Countyans arrested after an anonymous tip led to some drugs arrests and some children being removed from the home. That is just a part of what we have in now what's left of the next half hour. Now, today is Monday the 14th, as I referred to just a few moments ago. It was also the deadline for two sides of the appeal as it relates to the Magoffin County Democratic judge primary race here in Magoffin County. Today being that deadline for both sides to submit their briefs to the Kentucky Court of Appeals. The Kentucky Court of Appeals, as I told you days ago, gave them 10 days to do so. As I understand, those briefings have been filed, and there may have been some other requests and or dates set. We'll get to that on tomorrow's program. In lieu of all the other news that's been happening today, we'll have a report on that situation tomorrow. Once again, no hearing was set today. Today was merely the deadline for those briefings to be submitted to the Kentucky Court of Appeals so they could be considered in the case. I'll have an update on that and some other news tomorrow, and I hope to work in some good news tomorrow that the weather kind of kept me out of earlier today. A couple of things from Johnson County before we get to that tragic and terrible fatality on the Mountain Parkway earlier today and some other Magoffin County news. Johnson County Sheriff's Department says that an anonymous tip led them to some drug arrests over the course of the weekend. Sadly, some children had to be removed from the home. And also another tip helped thwart a church burglary in Johnson County as well. In the first story on Sunday, the Sheriff's Office in Johnson County received an anonymous tip from a caller concerned about children that were possibly being exposed to drugs at a residence on 3921 Kentucky Route 40 west in Staffordsville. Sheriff's Deputy Byron Fairchild responded, and upon his arrival smelled an odor that appeared to be marijuana coming from inside the home. He was granted consent from the homeowners to enter the residence and do a preliminary search. When he got inside, he says he discovered an indoor marijuana grow operation inside of a closet where 4 marijuana plants were growing, and also inside the home was dried marijuana as well as assorted drug paraphernalia. And he found 2 juveniles asleep inside the residence as well. All the subjects in the house, identified as not in necessarily order of their photographs, Shalias Hall, Elizabeth G. Lemaster, and Kyle B. Lemaster, admitted to smoking marijuana and being under the influence of marijuana with the children inside the home. The Department of Social Services was contacted and took custody of the kids. Meanwhile, all 3 adults were charged with cultivation of marijuana, less than 5 plants, possession of pot, possession of drug paraphernalia, and 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor. They were all arrested and lodged in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, where these mugshots were generated from. Also assisting at the scene was Deputy David Pridemore and members of the Kentucky State Police. The entire situation remains under investigation. And backing up to the night of Saturday over the course of the weekend in Johnson County, around 10 o'clock Saturday night, the Sheriff's Office says they got a call from an anonymous caller regarding some suspicious activity and people at the East Side Free Will Baptist Church in the community of Thelma. Now, the caller stated to the police that 2 men were acting suspicious, walking around the church and possibly trying to break in. Well, this is what they were doing. Deputy Byron Fairchild arrived on scene, and he found Constable from District 2, Bob Hyden, and members of the community at the scene offering assistance. Constable Hayden advised the suspects had fled the scene, but they had abandoned their vehicle behind, a Chevy Trailblazer that I'll show you in just a few moments. They had meanwhile cut the church's air conditioning unit hoses loose from the church and apparently were going to steal it, but were caught in the act. They had fled the scene and couldn't be located at the time of the incident, but a search of the Trailblazer left behind allowed Fairchild to identify 2 suspects. They are facing charges of criminal mischief in the first degree and attempted theft by unlawful taking over $500. That makes it a felony, and they'll be asked to make restitution to the church. Now, they have not been identified as of yet, but we will have that report or information later should it be forwarded to us. The sheriff's office, though, did want to thank church pastor Harry Frisbee, Constable Bob Hayden, and the residents of Thelma for helping halt the actions of those individuals. Sheriff Price said, quote, "Community involvement is, as always, vital in stopping crime in our county. We can't do it alone and without it." The names of the suspects, as I said, are currently being withheld pending grand jury indictment. Also making headlines this evening, another serious ATV accident in Magoffin County, of which there have been several lately. This one resulted in another Magoffin County and being airlifted for the severity of his injuries. It happened while he was attempting to go up an incline, and his brakes would fail to hold him when he came to a stop. It also includes a bystander whose quick thinking more than likely saved his life. I'll have that report after these words. Just in at Premier Auto, like new at used prices, a 2012 GMC Terrain SLE, $23,950. The ever-popular Kia Optima, this 2013 is $19,950. A 2014 Chevy Captiva loaded, $24,950. And check it out, an 85 Elko, custom, slick, straight, and rare, all baby inspected and baby approved at Premier Auto in Paintsville. Curb your appetite for a great deal on some even better home cooking at your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe, where we started the under $5 daily special. On Tuesdays, get our famous 3-piece strip meal with your choice of 2 homemade sides and a biscuit for just $4.39, $3.89 after 4 o'clock. At Lee's, where we cater gatherings big or small. Faster, friendlier, family-owned Parkway Pharmacy, open 8:30 till 6:30 Monday through Friday in the new Magoffin Medical Plaza under the care of local pharmacist Jesse Rudd. To make Parkway Pharmacy your pharmacy, come by or give us a call at 349-4400.
Appalachian Wireless has the latest technology in wireless with the most affordable price. It's the new Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini. This phone does it all in a brand new size. It has expandable memory with up to 64 gigabytes, a great 8-megapixel camera with flash and autofocus. It even has a front-facing camera for Google Hangout. The Samsung Galaxy S4 Mini. Buy one at $49.99. Get the second one for only a penny when you sign up for service. Appalachian Wireless. Better service, bigger savings.
You can be playing, relaxing, and enjoying your brand new lifestyle in just days with one call to Baker's Pool Supply. Over 38 years of professional installation at affordable prices on above-ground and in-ground swimming pools. Or if you're ready to open your pool for the season, you need a new liner, a solar cover, some parts, or the best in BioGuard chemicals or salts, Baker's is your full-service answer, serving all of Kentucky and surrounding states with complete satisfaction. And they offer financing. 800-633-7102 or bakerspoolsupply.com. Enjoy your fun in the summer sun even more with festive settings of the season from the seasonal shop that look good enough to eat themselves. Monogrammed and summer flags of every shape, size, and shade of summer, and other ways to say, welcome, friends. And just in, new and already classic designs by Ethel and Myrtle, ladies, all at Fraser's Prater Drug Seasonal Shop, just down from the drugstore and the Radio Shack. Sagersville National lets you go mobile with their new banking app. That's right, you can view your account and balance, transfer money, pay bills, and yes, deposit checks right from your phone from wherever you are. Just download the Sagersville National Bank app on your Android, iPad, iPhone, or other device. Any phone that can connect to the internet has the capability, and you can start saving time and money today with Sagersville National Bank's new mobile app. Wherever you are, we're there for you at Sagersville National Bank. As for that ATV accident that I mentioned just before the break, Captain Carter Conley of the McGoffin County Rescue Squad says that they, as well as other EMS personnel, responded to another ATV accident, and this time it was the quick thinking of a bystander, which may have very well and more than likely did save the life of a McGoffin County man before their arrival.
A little after 8 on Saturday evening, the rescue squad, or 911, received a call on an ATV accident, four-wheeler accident over on Lacey, and rescue squad, Transtar, and responded to the accident along with North McGoffin Fire Department. It was on a ridge on the left side of Lacey. By the time we got to the scene up in a hollow on Ritt branch, they had brought the subject off with setting up in a pickup. On interviewing with the people that was around him, he had tried to go up an incline. His brakes failed, and when he gave it to gas, it reared back up on top of him and landed on top of him. He was unconscious for several minutes. A subject on the scene got to him, noticed that he was not breathing, and he immediately opened his mouth, and his tongue had lapsed back into his throat and clogged his airway. This subject did remove the tongue, pull it forward, and then the subject began to breathe on his own. He had started to turn purple, and which means that he didn't have much longer to, several minutes have been that's it to last if this subject hadn't done that procedure. So he was brought off, and he was determined there was trauma to him. Paramedic on the scene, so we set up an LC in a field there on Lacey, and he was flown to Pikeville with some head injury.
But I'm told that accident victim is expected to recover. One person is in the hospital this evening, another dead, and the driver of a coal truck was taken for what appear to be non-life-threatening injuries. It was after this terrible and fatal auto accident on the Mountain Parkway earlier this morning around 11 o'clock, one of several on the parkway today after rains made the roadway slick and hazardous. I'll have a report, interviews with investigating personnel as well as eyewitnesses who tell us exactly what happened in the instant that this crash happened, with also some tragic irony as to where it happened as well. What's becoming an even increasingly all too familiar sight traveling the Mountain Parkway. First, let's go on to our community calendar announcements. While that video is still rendering, we'll get back to our top story in just a few moments. All morning and afternoon, I didn't have time to get your community calendar in and typed up for you, so let me go through a few announcements real quickly, and we'll get back to their more attractive format on tomorrow's program. Just a reminder, the Bethel Bible Church is having Vacation Bible School tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday night. Parents' night is Wednesday night. It's 4 to 6 p.m. A couple of things just in from our McGoffin County Extension Office, and I've got another report that I'm working on from there as well, a special one that we'll have for you hopefully in a few days. But there are two trainings for 4-H horticulture for the Kentucky State Fair at the McGoffin County Extension Office. The first one is tomorrow, 10 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, and then the next one is next Monday the 21st, 10 till 3. Any 4-H'er who wants to participate is invited to attend. If you've got any questions, give them a call at 349-3216. And end human trafficking in Kentucky. If you think it doesn't happen, we're all mistaken. Human Trafficking 101, presented by the Kentucky branch of the Trafficking in America Task Force. Everyone is invited and encouraged to attend. It's this Wednesday at noon. They'll be providing lunch at the McGoffin County Health Department. We'll be there. We hope you are too. Vacation Bible School. Hey kids, a venture awaits you in the Wilderness Escape where God guides and provides. It's 6 to 8 o'clock this Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at the Community Free Will Baptist Church. The countywide cleanup is ongoing this week. All those large items you can't put out in your garbage bag or garbage can, the county is picking them up this week if you vote in District 2. The Gulf County High School class of 84 is having their 30th class reunion on July the 19th. I'm scanning. That is this Saturday in the Ramey Park from 11 till 1. Bring a covered dish if you can. They'll provide the meat. Bring your kids if you want or can. And then at 7 o'clock, they're having a dance with a DJ at the Ramada Inn. If you haven't already, you can still send your fee of $60 per couple. Call 349-1113 if you have any questions. That's the class of 1984. Sayersville High School has their class reunion. That's the 57 class reunion coming up July the 26th. I've got a few days to remind you, and I most certainly will. Here tonight's funeral listings brought to you by our friends at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. 81-year-old Winford Workman of Sugar Camp Road passed away on Saturday. He's survived by his wife, Margaret Puckett Workman, as well as sons Merrill and Tony Workman and daughters Latina Adkins, Samantha Clark, Sherry Miller, and Melanie Ward. Visitation is this evening. It's all day tomorrow and tomorrow evening, and up until services. They're to be held in his honor Wednesday morning at 11. Visitation and services from the Sagersville Pentecostal Church of Christ. Burial will be at the Tackett Cemetery on Route 40. The McGoffin County Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements once again for 81-year-old Winford Workman of Sugar Camp in Dixie, here in Sagersville.
Have you ever noticed how many insurance commercials and advertisements are on television nowadays? You can't watch your favorite program without seeing a little pig or green lizard trying to sell you insurance and get your money for their premiums. But let me ask you this. If you have been in a serious wreck, do you really think that you are in good hands of the insurance companies when you have lost wages, medical bills, and pain and suffering from your head to your toes? The answer is no. If you want to truly be in good hands, give me a call. I'm attorney Donald Wayne McFarland. Let me put my 20 years of experience in working to protect the rights of injured people to work for you. 349-9000.
At the end of every race, Mark Martin hangs up his driving gloves. He hangs up his fire suit. And he hangs up his helmet. Which is why he picks up his phone and opens the ER Extra app. The app shows ER Extra wait times, locations, and more. It's the one safeguard Mark Martin is never without. ER Extra at Paul B. Hall Regional Medical Center. Extra fast, extra easy, extra great.
Frito Rocks is more than just gravel. They've got mulch in red, brown, and black, river rock in 4 different sizes, new rainbow rock for an entirely new landscape feature, metal and double wall plastic pipe, masonry sand, and rock, every size from DGA to 57s to class 2 and 3. And they have delivery and excavation and dozer services. And special hours Monday through Friday, 4:30 till 9 p.m. and Saturdays 9 till 4. For orders, call Frito Rocks on Route 7 at 496-7776. Wheel alignments, oil changes, brakes, suspension work, and tires. Thousands of tires by all the major manufacturers, all in stock and at incomparable prices. All backed with 33 years of service and experience, the area's largest tire selection, and 6 months no interest at Conley's in Paintsville. Regardless of where you want to ride, you could be riding on a brand new Kawasaki or Polaris for less at M&M Power Sports in Staffordsville. New Kawasaki's for the dirt, the street, or both, and ATVs and side-by-sides for every stage of enthusiasts to fish, hunt, haul, or play. And with rebates up to $1,300 and financing as low as 3.99%, it's never been easier to ride it, buy it, and start your next adventure at Kentucky's Power Sports Authority since 1964, M&M Power Sports. It's back, and it's the only place in Sagersville you're going to get the real flavor of 100% beef seared into every char-broiled bite, a taste that you can only get from a flame. Char-broiled burgers are back, and you can get them open till close every day at your Sagersville DQ, where breakfast is served hot Monday through Thursday till 11 and till noon, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you know what else is back? The Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Pie Blizzard of the Month. Get them while they're hot and cold at your Sagersville DQ. And now for all the details that I can report to you at this hour as they relate to yet another traffic fatality on the Mountain Parkway in McGoffin County in just the past few weeks. This one happened this morning at around 11 a.m. It will be the first of several auto accidents on a rain-soaked Mountain Parkway. It also proved fatal for who I believe was a Pikeville woman asleep in the passenger side of the vehicle. The vehicle's driver lost control of that vehicle on the rain-slickened Mountain Parkway and then collided with a tractor-trailer rig. Another fatality on the Mountain Parkway in the McGoffin County area, this time a Pike County man and his fiancée, also from Pike County, traveling towards West Liberty. It's my understanding per his statements that either he or she or a member of their family owns a farm in the Morgan County area, and that was their destination. He also told authorities at one time as he was talking and conscious upon being pulled from the wreckage of this vehicle that he was traveling with his cruise control on, that his fiancée was asleep lying back in the passenger seat beside him. Eyewitnesses say that there was some light rain still falling in the area and that roads were wet at the time of the accident. One describes what he saw as he was traveling behind the silver Chrysler sedan as he watched it collide with an oncoming tractor-trailer rig.
We was coming, we was going towards Lexington. The silver car was in front of us, and I noticed the silver car kind of fishtail, and then it went over into the other lane, and there was a truck coming, and it just hit it head on, and then the truck kind of came over in my lane, but I came over off the lane so I could get off the road, and then we got out and called 911. The roads was just they're wet. It wasn't raining at the particular time, but it had rained and they were still wet. So I don't know if that's what caused it coming through that curve, and they kind of skidded a little bit and then they overcorrected or what. I just seen the fishtail and go in the other lane.
When I asked Bostic if it appeared as though there was time for the truck driver to try to react and try to avoid the collision, he says it all happened so fast. Authorities with the Kentucky Vehicle Enforcement who are investigating the accident said there were indicators on scene that it happened in the lane of the tractor-trailer rig, and it appeared as though that the driver of which tried to avoid the collision by getting over against the guardrail as far as possible.
The one vehicle is a passenger car, the other is a commercial motor vehicle. Best we can tell at this point is that the passenger car has lost control, crossing into the oncoming path of the commercial vehicle. At this time, I don't know any of the names involved, and again, our investigation is in its preliminary stages. At this time, we do have a couple of folks that were eyewitnesses to the collision. We're taking their statements as well as roadway evidence and vehicle damage, and that will determine the finalized report, which is going to be months away.
A couple of things we also know: the truck belonged to or was registered to a Mullins Enterprise in Pike County. I believe that driver also from Pike County. He was taken for some injuries to his hand, non-life threatening, by ambulance to an area hospital, I believe Paul B. Hall. It's also believed that this car made contact with the semi twice, first when it hit head-on, and then the vehicle was spun around, and the back of that car, as you can see, the extensive damage to colliding with the other side or the side of the big rig. And as we stood here and reflected on scene today, we could literally visually see other auto accident scenes, such as the one just a few hundred yards away where a W.R. Castle firefighter was killed just a few weeks ago. And if you'll notice in these last couple of clips, that green metal cross has been there for several years. Another auto accident, that one that I covered several years ago that tragically claimed the life of a young McGoffin County man in a fiery accident in the exact same location. If memory serves me correct, it too happened on a rain-slickened mountain parkway. And as rescue, emergency, and law enforcement personnel stayed on scene until around 3 o'clock this afternoon before the mountain parkway, which was shut down in both directions for several hours, was reopened. Just upon clearing that scene, they were called to the scene of another auto accident on the mountain parkway. This was a single vehicle accident a little further on down the parkway. Less serious in nature, I'm glad to report. It actually involved a student at the University of Pikeville going to the Doctor of Osteopathic School who was on her way to Louisville to take her boards. She lost control of her passenger car in a rain-slickened mountain parkway and collided with the guardrail. She was taken to an area hospital for a precaution, as I understand. And then no sooner had they cleared that scene, I think they were still on scene, another accident occurred. This too on the mountain parkway, this involving, I believe, more than one vehicle and closer to the county line, actually into Morgan County. We don't have any more details on that accident as of this hour, but hope to have some video and or other details and information forthcoming. With that said, that's pretty much all we have pending our weather forecast for you this evening. We'll wrap up and go out on a note from Licking Valley RECC that's going to have you nearly turning on the heat and off the air conditioning for the rest of the week. But before we can get to all of that, we've got some more stuff coming. Look at that line. Well, that's what is representing a lot of cold air behind it. And just in front of it, some showers and thunderstorms making their way on into the viewing area. Well, we're still several hours away, as you can ascertain by this local Doppler radar, but it is coming. keep an eye on the conditions later on. I'm hoping that things will calm down and cool off just enough to where the severity of any severe weather, the chances of any severe weather, that is, will pretty much be null and void, and we'll just see some good old-fashioned showers and a few thunderstorms or two. But keep your eye out as the evening tends to go on and linger. As far as that is concerned, the forecast just calls for scattered showers and thunderstorms this evening, cloudy skies, and a low of 67 degrees, which is a mere 10 degrees from where we'll be for daytime highs tomorrow. You're going to feel a change, 77 degrees. Now, we'll see skies become mostly sunny by the afternoon and evening. We'll see some scattered showers and thunderstorms, maybe up until 2. Then things will clear up, 77, 54 for your low, and then more sunshine, certainly calm and clear on your Wednesday, 76 degrees, sunny, clear skies late. Folks, that's a very low of 53, and some folks might see a little lower than that. Upper 40s are possible for some parts of Kentucky. We're going to have to wait to see just how cool it indeed does get. Thursday, mostly sunny, 78, near 60 as we start to recover temperature-wise on your Thursday. And then Friday, we're hanging tough at around 77, 78 degrees again, warming up to 61 for nighttime lows. Then the trend will start to come back to the same old song and dance with that threat of showers and thunderstorms into your Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And Saturday, we'll see temperatures get close to the 80-degree mark, still technically into the 70s, but we'll see clouds kind of, well, run any thoughts you had of a beautiful weekend. 40% chance of showers and storms. Might not be a terrible day, just going to be a little bit gray possibly. May improve between now and then as well. And then the 80s return, and then they'll start to climb. Sunday, 84 and 66 for your high and low. Still a threat of showers and storms. Monday right now, next week, I'm looking at 87 degrees with a still 40% chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Keep your eye on the weather tonight. As that cold front and all that cold air behind it moves in, we could see some severe weather. I think showers and thunderstorms pretty much just run-of-the-mill and in the mix. Then it's jacket weather. Ha! Who would have thought? Thank you all for being a part of the program. We'll have updates on some of today's reports as well as some news that I'm set to cover. It's going to be a busy week, as usually is the case here at Your News Today. Thank you for being a part of it tonight. We hope you will be again tomorrow.